Right guys, so a few people have been wondering what kind of kit and equipment I'm going to be using when I go stealth/wild camping, both in my camper van and outside in my bivvy bag and whatever different ways and means we use to sleep outside and stuff like that. But I've got a basic kit that I've already got packed, stuff that I'll always generally have on me. Now that I'm out the Royal Marines Commandos, I don't really have to be as technical with the kit. Like a lot of the kit that I was using in the military had a real military purpose behind it, okay? Whether it was its durability to last months on end, whether it was the fact that it was camouflaged to a certain environment that I was in, you name it, all right? It was military specific. But now I've got the comfort of being able to buy civilian-based stuff, which, believe it or not, guys, in most cases is a long more comfortable for a start. All right, some of the civilian kit out there is very comfortable. Some of it is a lot more durable in certain situations, and let's face it, just some of the civilian kit actually looks better, especially the rucksacks and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is, in fact, we'll go into my van now, and I'll show you the kit that I've got, the stuff that I'll be using for the first of the ventures. So that's the back of the camper van there. That is rucksack. I'm using a low alpine at the moment. We're going to get into that in a second. And I think we'll go inside actually. Where's a less sunshine? Beautiful day today. There's the camper van. We're going to be having some fun in that. It's a VW California Coast, so we can go totally off-grid in that thing. Amazing bit of kit, to be honest with you. So yeah, let's just have a look at this bad boy. So I haven't packed it fully how I'd want it. So these things, right, in order to you want to have the ability to correctly, safely and durably carry water, and I get these things because they are pretty sturdy. They don't look too pretty, but they're compact and you can fit a litre of water in them. So no matter where I go, if I'm using this thing, I'll always have 2 of these in there. And if I've got anything else that I'm carrying in a different fashion, I'll carry a Camelback. But for most of the stuff that we'll be doing, especially the fact that I'll be sleeping out the back of one of them things most of the times, or travelling in that, I'll be carrying water in there anyway. When I'm out on the ground, I'll only need 2, maybe 3 litres of water for a night or 2 stay. And I'll just replen either from the van or from other ways. But this bag, the reason I've getting this one is it's black. It's going to stay somewhat camouflaged in most of the places that I'm going to go in the United Kingdom. Yes, it's got a bit of orange in there, but you never know when you want to be seen, guys, all right? No one's going to see this when I'm, in the bush somewhere or in the woods somewhere, unless you're really looking for us. But there might be a time when safety is paramount that I actually want to be seen. So I don't mind about that, all right? That's just a little way and means to carry some water, maybe it's on the front, just so I can utilise it very quickly. The reason I'm getting this specific rucksack is because I can top flap things, just like in the military. The Marines, we love to top flap stuff. What that means is I can lift the top cover, dunk stuff on there that needs to come out nice and quick, maybe it's a jacket or something, and then just top flap it, all right? It's pretty nice and simple. But inside as well, it's pretty much just like a better version of a military Bergen as far as I'm concerned. What I'll do is here, I'll always tighten the top off like that with the excess cord. Reason being is you want to waterproof everything you've got as best as you can, and you want to be able to have the means to keep your kit nice and dry no matter what the weather conditions are, okay? So I always do that. Just a little tip that I used from the military. Let me set this camera up so you can see actually. But yeah, guys, this different type of content, granted, but hopefully you guys enjoy the format and understand why we're doing this. So what we'll be doing moving forward, instead of just doing stealth camping stuff, like a lot of fantastic channels do out there, I'm going to be documenting the kit that we're going to take on there as well. So this is the top flap bit. Inside the top flap, I'll have a survival kit at hand. You never know when you might need one of these things. This is military dominant, granted, and very much military orientated, but inside this I'm going to have well, I'll show you guys quickly. I'll do a separate video about what I'm going to carry specifically for certain things, but if you want me to do a certain video on a survival kit that I'll take for certain environments, then let me know. I'll do a video on that specifically. But in this survival kit, very generic at the moment, in a nice hard wearing container, got a little mirror there. All right, I can use that to make fire if I want, or I can use it as a distress signal. You might think, well, what's the point in that? Well, you know, it depends on the conditions that you're in. Matches, waterproof boot matches. All right, these things are really handy, especially when it's raining or it's wet. And we've got the means to cut with a razor. All right, you never know when you might need that. I've got one of these. These are pretty handy. These are a little saw, like a little wire saw. So if you want to start cutting things down without chopping wood, like using axes and stuff like that, depending on where you are in the world, you might not be able to carry an axe. These things are really handy, especially when you're wanting to collect firewood and trim it down to certain shapes and sizes. I love these things. Really small, very effective, and very light. Now, for most of the time, you'll never really need to use a very basic fishing kit. But, you know, in certain situations, you might need to be able to hunt for food. And this little thing here, for how small it is, really, really effective. And I'll always carry some form of ability to fish, because you never know when you might need it. A little pocket knife here, hardly ever need to use it, but you never know, guys, when you need to use one of these things. If you do manage to get some fish when you're out on your travels, then this little pocket knife is going to be very, very handy indeed. Basic sewing kit goes without saying. If your kit and equipment that you're using isn't serviceable and legible, then this thing here can, you know, it can help you out if you've got a cut in your jeans or something, or whatever your kit you're using. Really handy. I've had to use that a few times when I was in the Marines. A few people might be wondering, why have I got 2 condoms in my survival kit for? It's not for what you think. It's basically one of the, you think about these can stretch to a phenomenal size. Now, there's not a better way to carry water in a survival situation than using one of these. You can fill these up from a river and carry quite a bit of water. So that's why I use them. You put them inside a sock and you can carry water from a stream. Really, really handy. A lighter, just in case. A candle to light the lighter so that you don't have to keep on using your lighter. So you can use this, you can keep it on, run for a while. If you need to use this for fire, you can just light the candle, set a fire. Really, really efficient way of doing things. A little bit of snare wire if you want to catch rabbits and stuff. And a flint and steel. These things are better than matches, all right? I love these things. Flint and steel to get fire. Fantastic bit of kit. You get, like, I think it's 10,000 strikes out of this. A little pot of compass and a couple of nails in there to use as a portable stove. But that's what we've got in our top flap of our rucksack here. Now, what I've got here is it's a Nibu. It's a magnetic based flashlight. So these things are brilliant. Point and shoot if you need to use it, point and shoot, or if you want to work, you can use it as an ability to, you know, like a ceiling light, so to speak. Red flare on there as well, red light, so if you're in an emergency or you want to use it tactically, you can. And, you know, these things are really, really heavy. So a fantastic little bit of self-defense kit and equipment as well. Also in the top flap, the reason it's in top flap is I want these things to be, you know, ready, and I want to be able to, use these things whenever I want. So that's why I put them in the top flap. In here, in a waterproof carriage, I've got, in a dry sack, sorry, I've got a hat, little warmer's hat there, and some gloves. All right, nice warm gloves. You never know when you need to use them. You want to keep them at hand as well. I'll always keep these things to hand. I've just realised my camera angle probably didn't catch the first bit of stuff there, but never mind. In fact, let me put this on a wider angle. There we go, that's much better. So yeah, these bad boys, you always want these to hand, so I'll put them in the top flap. Again, if I was in the military still, I'd do this slightly differently. The reason being, in the military you've obviously got a tactical element that you need to be considered, or take into consideration. But actually, a lot of the things I do, it's hard to kind of get that tactical awareness side of things out of your brain. I do like to use things tactically still. But that's what I've got on my top flap there. Just underneath there, I've got another compartment which I really like, and I want this to hand. I'm not normally going to, the reason I haven't got it properly to hand, and it is under the top flap, is because this is something that I'll only use on an occasion when I'm in a position where I can use white light. This is a lead lenser head torch. Very, very powerful bit of kit. It's like 150 meters range or something, this thing, so I'll always want that. And it's more of a safety bit of kit, to be honest with you. I like my eyes to adjust to the night time anyway, because your night vision, when you let your eyes adapt, is really, really good. People don't realise that your eyes can adapt to the dark, and I do like that. I don't like using white light in most situations. So inside then, first things first, I'll always carry a spare dry bag. You never know what you want to carry in there. You never know what you might have to ditch at certain points in time. But as a worst case scenario, and this is tactically now, I'm thinking when I was still in the military, this is something that I'll always do, and I'll probably still do it when I'm stealth camping and wild camping. If I'm in my sleeping bag, and I need to get the hell out of there nice and quick, what I'm going to do is, instead of taking my shoes off, right, I'll put my feet in this, and then put this inside the sleeping bag, so it keeps my sleeping bag dry and clean. But I've also got my shoes on my walking boots or whatever, so that if I need to get the hell out of there very, very quick, I can rip this off. I've already got my feet in my shoes. I'm not going to take up too much time getting them on, because they're already on. And yeah, that's why I do that for. Really, really good tip. Inside here, I've got a waterproof dry bag with all of my kit and equipment in, starting from this thing. Now, yes, it is blue. Doesn't really matter, because I'm going to be using this in a situation where I'm always going to be covered by something camouflage. But the reason I chose this Berghaus Interpret 700 is because it's tiny. This thing's tiny. Now, I've slept out in some horrendous places, really, really cold places, without any sleeping bags before. So any kind of sleeping bag for me is better than nothing, and it's a luxury. So yeah, I can sleep in something really thin in cold conditions. That's going to keep me lovely and warm, that. Because like I say, I've slept out in conditions where the kit and equipment has been, you know, I just haven't had that kit and equipment. So that's what I've got in there. First things first, why do I have that at the top? Because sleeping systems, I want to be able to sleep with it straight away, okay? And underneath here is a bit of a luxury item that I would have used in the Marines. This is a very small, and it's a blow-up roll mat. So nice and comfy in the old age. Nice and handy sleeping kit there. Really, really tiny. Amount of space taken up, which is happy days. And at the very bottom of this dry bag is the best bit of kit, in my opinion, and it's tiny. This thing here, which is in its own dry bag, is an OEX Bobcat 1. Now, it's a one-man tent. Two parts to this. You've got an outer, which is effectively a bivvy, or a poncho, whatever you want to call it, and the inner part is the bit where you're going to get more comfort, mosquito net and stuff like that, and you're going to keep dry. So worst case scenario, I use the outer part if I want to be stealthy. If I want to spend a bit more time to build up that position and sleep comfortably and keep all my kit nice and clean and free of mosquitoes, this has got an inner part. The reason I carry it is it's tiny and it's light. There, sleeping kit done. We don't need to worry about anything else now, as long as we've got a place to sleep nice and warm. And as you can see, nothing else in there other than a dry bag. So, you're thinking, I need to eat. We've got a couple of poles rather in the side. These poles can be used to support that or anything else that makes it. They stay in the side along with the tent pegs. Out of the way, nice and easy. At the very bottom of this, we've got another compartment. I like to keep these things separate. I've got another bottle there where I'm going to keep a litre of water. This is going to be predominantly for cooking my food and then drinking. In most situations, because I'll have hot water that I've cooked the food from, and I'll show you all this when we get out doing the survival stuff, after I've cooked the food, I will then make a hot drink. Even if it's hot weather, I'll have a hot drink with that hot water because it's not going to go to waste, all right? That's how that's going to act. So heat the food up first and then drink. And the remainder of that hot water, if we need to keep our kit clean, I'll use that. Hydration and food water, that's what that is. In this thing here, as you can see, a common thing with me being former Marine, I like to keep everything waterproof because, you know, we amphibious soldiers, we like to keep our stuff dry because we're mixing with the wet all the time. I understand the consequences of not keeping your kit dry and clean. In here is my Jetboil System. Fantastic bit of kit. One of the best bits of kit I've ever bought. I bought this when I was training with the US Marines in 2013 in America, and it's been the best bit of kit I've ever had. Truthfully, this is an original Jetboil cooking system. And I'll quickly show you through this. I've had it, like I say, nearly 10 years now. It's a fantastic bit of kit. Everything breaks down into this. Even the gas, hold the gas in there. There's the bottom bit. Take this off. In literally 30 seconds, you can clip this on, bang, and then you've got hot water, guys. This is a fantastic bit of kit. Can't wait to show you guys how I would use it in a tactical situation, because you don't need to use fire all the time. That little canister of gas will last me months and months, troops. Okay, fantastic bit of kit. What will I be cooking in there? Well, I see a lot of channels who are doing this stealth camping stuff, cooking steaks and everything like that. Most of the stealth camping stuff that I'll be doing, if the aim is not to get spotted, I won't be cooking steaks and things because smell gives off that. It's a form of you're going to get spotted basically. You can smell that a beef steak shouldn't be getting cooked in a random field or roundabout wherever you cook, wherever you're staying. You're going to get spotted. So I'm going to stick to ration style stuff. In water, can't smell it, boils up in 3 minutes, bang, rip the top off, eat it, done, job done. This thing here has 532 kilojoules of energy. Okay, just off this little pack here, bang. We've got an all-day breakfast, we've got chili and rice, and we've got our own makeshift, and I've done this when I was in the Marines as well. I'll make my own wet kit, i.e. whatever I want to drink. So I've got, being British, English tea, I've got my chewing gum, I've got my milk powder and stuff in there, I've got I've got coffee and everything. I've got about a week's worth of drinks in that little pooch there, okay? Saves me carrying around coffee jars, saves me carrying around cartons of milk that's going to go off. This thing here, I've had this built up for the past 2 years. It'll still be good to go. So that's why I use it. Look, that's one day's worth of eating and 1 week's worth of drinking hot drinks. So you can imagine, I've got the mentality of stay light, ready to fight. In the bottom here, I could fit, you know, a week's worth of food, and I've already got a week's worth of drinking facilities there. Everything can be packed away nice and light into this bad boy. So, with that being said, all the kit and equipment there, not a lot of stuff. The one thing that I might have to finish on if I was to stay out a little bit longer is water. But when I'm doing these survival stealth camping things, what I will be doing is I'll be trying to locate myself next to water sources and stuff, clean water sources, so you guys will understand how I'll think tactically about the situation. In the event of, if I needed to stay out a little bit longer, that's when we're going to be incorporating things like steri tablets and stuff like that. So ability to clean the water, then we're going to boil the water, sterilize the water, and be able to drink it effectively. So I'll carry what I need for the duration. If we extend above that, then I've got the van to be able to use for storage of more water. But if need be, we'll just live off the land and get a water source, and I'll show you how we'll go through with doing that. But that is a quick introduction of the stuff that'll be in my rucksack for most of the things. Those items there are basics to what I'll be taking, all right? The basics, and we can definitely survive. There'll be things that I'll add to that, depending on what the weather is. So waterproofs will be another thing that we might need, but I might just take a poncho waterproof. The kit and equipment that I'll be having on myself, on person, will be simple, guys. I'll have one set of very durable walking trousers, and I'll show you which ones in a different video that I'll be using. One very durable, maybe it's a Rab waterproof coat, which is windproof, which in turn will keep you semi-warm, because I'm going to be on the move most of the time. I'm not going to worry too much about being cold. If it is going to be freezing weather, then I'll pack a Rab warmers bit of kit, all right, something to keep me nice and warm. But yeah, the basics is key. I think that's where my military experience will help me when it comes to stealth camping and wild camping, and showcasing you guys how we do it, because I can live on the bare minimum. I really can. And a bit of suffering with the weather, to me, isn't suffering. It's how humans are supposed to live anyway. So enduring cold, wet weather is a privilege of living. It's a blessing. So I don't really worry about that stuff. I can literally sleep out under the stars, guys. It doesn't bother me. So the kit and equipment that I've got is the basics that you'll always see with me, and we might extend that a little bit more. But troops, if you like this kind of content, then look forward to the rest of the stuff that we're going to be doing on the channel with regards bushcraft, wild camping, stealth camping, that type of stuff, because this is my passion. This is what I like to do, and hopefully you guys will like it too. But if you do, smash that like button, drop a comment below if you've reached it this far in the video, and please share the video with your friends. It really does help out with the algorithm. Other than that, thanks for stopping by, troops. Peace.